Hello and welcome to the show. We start this week's Failrace episode with Invisible AK-47 on GTA 5 playing some of the car sumo. Spots a panto, goes for a little bit of a nudge, doesn't really work. However, never fear, the 9F is far more useful for launching pantos to space. Amazingly though, the panto is fine, lands back on the arena and can carry on. V404 very nearly manages to drive themselves off the same arena, recovers the car though, gets it back going, spots their opponent has got it wedged, goes for a nudge, probably not a wise idea to go for a nudge from that angle, ends up just ramping across the car and falls out the arena themselves. Not the greatest driving manoeuvre. Kentucky Moose has annoyed an AI as he is being chased by one of the angry drivers. However, said driver not too smart as the Futo makes it through the toll booth and the AI car doesn't. Ends up on his roof and blocking the road entirely. I mean, I guess that is one way to deal with the angry drivers. I suspect he's probably going to be more angry now climbing out of that car. MCAP 12 on a dirt rally has a big moment across a jump, somehow manages, pretty much running it along the door there, manages to keep the car pointing in the right direction. Same can't be said on a dirt showdown with this pickup. A small bump, it wasn't even kind of rolling it off the ramps, it was just a small bump on the ground that sets the car tumbling, although Failbeat has the pair of them beaten on Just Cause 2 with an SUV that doesn't like a sign. I don't know why the sign got angry, but yeah, the truck got launched up into the air, rolls and twists, and now we're going for front flips and then some cartwheels as well for good measure. Pretty sure it's done all of the stunts that an airborne vehicle can do, and some more flat spins to finish before ending up in the ocean. It could only have been better if the car had managed to get stopped before going swimming. Your Doom 69 on a Forza Horizon 2, going for a little bit of drifting. The game is having none of it and decides his Subaru should be flying through the mountain. It's a peculiar one, that one. The car doesn't actually hit anything. It doesn't hit the barrier. It's just kind of the wheel going up the curb is enough to anger the game and kind of bump the car sideways. So, unfortunate for the Subaru. Knight's Viper on Horizon 2, trying to go around the outside of a fellow Bentley, but can't quite make the corner. Brushes along the wall, and that's enough to launch the Continental into a roll and a pretty spectacular flip from the car. Yeah, a little bit of a dangerous overtaking manoeuvre, that one, and the wall was proving to, be quite scary. Zombie Cheese on a Trackmania Turbo with the Canyon car. I do like the Canyon car on here, it's great fun. Drifting his way underneath a truck, gets things wrong coming to the loop, but amazingly bounces off the wall, completes the roll, and can carry on. A little bit behind gold medal time, sure, but yeah, that's a mighty impressive stunt. Suzuki Blaze on Mad Max has spotted an enemy car, goes for a ram. It doesn't really do, well, it does some damage, but doesn't stop the enemy car. I'm not quite sure, so he's running away from it. I think he was trying to lay a trap, ends up exploding himself, does a front flip and a roll. Either way, it worked in getting rid of the enemy car, though, as he crashes and equally ends up across the rocks. Jackhammer MC on iRacing has run a smidge wide at the top of the hill at Lime Rock, and that is not going to be a good day for the race car. It just keeps going, just wants to keep rolling. Yeah, many a cars we've seen in the tyre bundles there in Forza, in iRacing, they tend to have an even more spectacular crash. The boss on Grand Prix Legends, as all of these classic race cars are filtering down towards the first corner. One of the vehicles goes across a little too much, the wheels get connected, cars get launched, and everything goes very badly wrong in towards the first corner. A car stuck on top. Oh, I think the player car is the one the camera is following. There's a big shenanigans going on in the middle of the corner as well. It wasn't a particularly good start for that race. Black and Red 81 on a Halo the Master Chief connection almost loses the Warthog over the edge, and in not quite paying enough attention to the debris, launches it into a roll, gets flung out of the car and squashed against the wall. Little bit unfortunate as well in that. On to Need for Speed 2015. Again, another game that's not too keen on letting you do some drifting. I guess things are a tad wrong. Ends up smacking the wall on the inside, and fair enough, the car has a bit of an accident. Then the game gets quite unhappy with all of it. It's just sort of repeatedly sported the car, and then it's kind of braking. The first time I thought it just sort of, well, it had a small bump on the wall, and that was enough to upset it. But no, this is just going forward, and now it's, yeah, that's well and truly stuck. Phase Hordes on Race 07 with a Vectra, I think this is an AI car, with a Vectra that's gone on the brakes and accidentally found a super turbo button, and now nothing is really working in terms of control and steering, and it's just keeping accelerating and accelerating until eventually there's a tyre bundle to stop the car. No idea what went on with that poor vehicle. And finally, we end on World of Tanks. Now, this had an update to allow tanks to roll over and so on, so this guy playing around with the physics of getting a tank to roll. Unfortunately, it'll kind of flip. Unfortunately, while it's gone over once, it now doesn't really have any interest in stopping rolling, as it's just gradually bouncing and bouncing its way down the hill as an enemy tank has come over to say hello. Now, the enemy tank could go and destroy the vehicle, however, it's much more fun to watch it sort of tumble and still go and finally end up stuck on its roof. The enemy is very kind, though, with the tank stuck, proceeds to go and give him a little bit of a hand. So, yeah, tanks can roll over. They can roll over pretty spectacularly well. That is a long tumble down the hill. The enemy goes to give him a nudge. Tank, there we go, it's back on its wheels. And amazingly, despite that tumble, is now back working again. That is a sturdy tank to have survived that trip down the hillside there. However, that is it for this video, guys. If you have clips you would like to submit to this series, then you can via our forums. There'll be a link in the description. At the very top of the page is the Failrace clip submission, and in there you can find all of the rules and how to submit them. But that is it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.